Hi guys, welcome back to Fundamentals of Design, a TUTS Plus premium course. I'm Kim Boltzma, and today we're going to talk about alignment. In the last lesson, we talked about the principle of repetition, where design can provide familiarity using repetition of objects or concepts. Today we're going to dive into the third principle of design, alignment. First, we'll define the concept of alignment. Then we're going to look at a couple of reasons to use alignment and the different types of alignment. And then we're going to end this lesson with an assignment that will get you thinking about how to align in other designs. So first of all, let's define alignment. Alignment in graphic design is when items are lined up in a manner that gives a piece flow. A design needs to have an eye line, which is a point where everything seems to come together for a design. Alignment creates order, and it helps make the design be sensible for the audience. This does not mean, however, that everything should be centered or left aligned or right aligned. For example, in this cartoon by Brad Colbow, without reading the text, the alignment of this cartoon appears to be all right. All similar items, like the speaking bubbles, are either in the top or the bottom quadrant, and it's fairly close in alignment from left to right across the page. But after you start reading the text, it's apparent that there's not enough change in alignment to let the audience make a conscious decision on which speaking bubble to choose next. Take a look at this flyer for the Beer and Bagel Run in Omaha, Nebraska. The pictures are centered, and there's quite a bit of information also centered. Nothing really stands out, making it difficult for the audience to know where to look first. Lack of alignment can give items a very disorganized look, almost as if the design were just simply thrown together, and it's really difficult for an audience to follow. Look at the ad from Alibaba.com. A freelancer offers this design as an example of what he can design for a company. Unfortunately, a lack of definitive alignment makes the ad look sloppy and really thrown together. There's no real dominant text. Everything just kind of seems to stand out, and you don't really know what to look at first. On the flip side, mixing too many alignments can have the same effect. The Duracell ad has lots of great ideas going on, but the alignment is all over the place. First, the trusted everywhere at the top and reliability, efficiency, performance, technology, freedom at the bottom are center justified. The dominant text, today you never have to waste a drop of power, is right aligned to the battery charger, which isn't even centered over the text beneath it, which is centered. The Duracell Smart Power logo itself is justified, but the entire logo placement on the page is right aligned. With all that said, it is still possible to break alignment in order to draw attention to something and have it turn out well. Take Ford Motor Company's Octane Academy website. Center, justify, left, right alignments, they all work together here because they all appear to be center justified. Okay, so let's look at the several reasons to create good alignment. First of all, you can group similar items together. Second, you're able to better organize elements on a page. Third, you actually create a sense of order by grouping similar items together. And finally, alignment makes you create visual connections for your audience. All right, so there are several types of alignments. First of all, you got vertical. Your Mac Life Rocks is really kind of a neat little thing there. It's all vertically aligned up and down. You've got two columns. On the left, you have the old Mac rainbow apple look to the star and the silhouette that they tend to use in like a lot of their iPod ads. And then your right column, you've got your information. So your vertical alignment there. And then on the Artwork Love website on the right, everything is completely vertically aligned. It's really tough to decipher any horizontal alignments, even though there are some there. Speaking of horizontal alignments, it's another type of alignment. Your layouts are typically designed along the horizon of a page with horizontal alignment. For example, the Miguel Buckenmeyer website on the left side. It's a horizontal layout. You've got your Buckenmeyer stuff at the top. You've got the large black box in the middle, and then you've got additional information at the bottom, and it's actually in a Z format. So you look at the Buckenmeyer at the top, go from left to right. You're going to swoop back down to read the middle stuff, and then you're going to go over to the far bottom left, read our mission, start your stuff, join our mailing list. Then looking at that 2010 Beauty Declaration layout, you also got the horizontal. You've got the News 1, News 2, Liz, the name of the Liz Hone, I think it is, all in the top horizontal quadrant. And then the middle quadrant, you've got News 3, News 4, and then that text that's over on the right side of the page. And at the bottom quadrant, you've got the 2010 Beauty Declaration with that kind of pinkish salmon colored circle on the right side of the page. Another type of alignment is center alignment, which I think is pretty self-explanatory, but you can use center alignment in a lot of different ways. It typically works best with irregular shapes, but sometimes squares work best for center alignment, like you see here. You've got the MAC tape thing, you got that rectangle within a rectangle within a rectangle, and everything is all centered. On the right, you've got Veronica Goldberg's website, who's a graphic designer. And again, that's where you're looking at the irregular shapes, where they're not all uniform in look, even though they have same colors. The shapes are all different. But by center aligning them both horizontally and vertically across the page, you give that kind of that emphasis and makes it look a lot easier to read. Another type of alignment is edge alignment, and this is when items are aligned based on the edges. We often see it along simple geometric shapes like circles and squares and rectangles. So in the Saga website, you've got very definitive squares that are all similar shapes, sizes all the way across the page, and the edges of those squares are very much defined, which brings emphasis to what's inside the squares. The final example of a type of alignment is the visual or the optical alignment. And this is when there are curves or items with alignment that is difficult or not readily apparent. Things aren't really lined up, but they appear to be because they are in a general vicinity. So if you look at the Shasta and McKinley on the left side of the page, the bottom of the picture of the dogs lines up with the text Shasta and McKinley. The right edge of the picture of the dogs lines up with the left edge of the text. So everything has got kind of that, I don't know, like a cross look to it. You look at the sample logo that I found on Smashing Magazine's website, and even though sample and logo are not all in the same baseline or the bottom of the text, you still see an eye line going across the page. It's like an optical alignment where there is still that line there, but it's just not exactly what you would expect. Okay, so let's do this. How do you create alignment? First of all, think in terms of a grid. Maybe it's a 2-column, or maybe it's a 3-column, or maybe it's a 6-column, and so on. Think vertically. How many columns are you going to have vertically? And then go horizontal and figure out, exactly how you're going to get things to fit across the page. And remember that visual and that optical kind of alignment, that things don't have to be completely uniform, but they have to have an eye line to them. How about diagonally? If you look at this Beauty Bound example, your eye starts in the bottom left where the shoes are, goes to Beauty Bound, and then it moves its way over to the top right of the page. So you're kind of getting that diagonal flow to it. The other thing I like to look at is the Fibonacci spiral. And Leonardo Fibonacci noticed that this spiral shape occurs in nature, and the sequence is pretty common in flowers. So he saw that as something that was very pleasing to the eye and decided he wanted to replicate it in design. Photography has even replicated this concept through its rule of thirds. And you'll see many logos based on it, including like Apple's and Toyota's. Okay, so your assignment, it's 2 parts. First of all, find each of the following types of alignment in a few magazines of your choice. Find the vertical alignment, the horizontal, the center, the edge, and the visual optical. And then think about what makes the examples that you found good examples of those types of alignments. Once you've done that, what I want you to do is go back and take that beer and bagel run poster that we looked at earlier, and on a sheet of paper, physically sketch out a redesign of it based on the grid system. So what you need to do is you need to really further group information together and decide how many columns you're going to use. I mean, do you think the information merits a 3-column layout, or are you going to stick with the 2-column? But then maybe you're going to design it more vertically than horizontally. You get to choose. Okay, so next time on Fundamentals of Design, we will discuss proximity. Until then, this is Kim Baltzma, and thanks for listening from all of us at TEDS Plus.